While I was looking up horror games, I remembered this one not only having a different setting, but also theme. Taking place not only during the late 1800s, but having Egyptian horrors in it as well. Because the more you think about it, there really isn't that many Egyptian-themed horror games. The only one I could think of besides this one is The Mummy: Tomb of the Pharaoh.
I really saw it, and it was alive.
You saw a mummy. Well, maybe what you really mean to say, Cameron, is that you want your mummy.
So is this relic of the past worth looking at, or is it best left forgotten? Let's find out. So our story takes place in London during the 1890s. You play as both Darian Dane and Victoria Sutton, as Victoria plans to show Darian the Eye of Isis, since their families have a history with it. But the museum is closed due to something strange happening inside, as we see a thief try to steal the Eye of Isis, but it gives off a dangerous gas. Okay, it's a curse.
I'm afraid there'll be no previews this evening, sir, and possibly no opening tomorrow. All museum staff are currently helping us with our inquiries. Now, sir, please go home. My officers will deal with the situation.
The door wasn't even locked, so anyone could have walked in there and steal something while the police were distracted. Good work, Chief. Alright, now let's play the game. What's going on? I'm pressing the WASD keys, but I'm not moving. I can change the other controls, but not the movement. I don't know why. And I can spin my character like I'm in a teacup ride. Well, I guess that's it. Shortest review I ever made. Unless... Oh, you have to press the arrow keys. Okay. Now you may think it's not that bad, but while playing this game, I had very little arm space. So I played all 6 hours of this game like I was imitating a T-Rex. We meet up with Abdul Wahid, as he has a history with Damien and Victoria's parents. He's mostly there to tell hints where you need to go and what you need to access the rest of the game. He also can save your game and store your items if your inventory gets full. Next we encounter the Curse as it claims a dead body and reanimates it. Now these first enemies you encounter, I'm just gonna call them zombies because, well, let's face it, they're zombies. Now there are some different ones, as they can breathe a curse breath on you, or have a chest burster. Sometimes you can pick up bullets or health items from them, but you have to wait until the curse from their bodies is gone. This is actually annoying, because if you try to examine the body before the curse is gone, you're going to take damage. You have a health meter and a soul meter. If you take too much damage, well, you die. But if you get hit with the curse breath, your soul meter goes up. And the more it fills up, the faster you lose health, both in draining and you take more damage. You can heal yourself with the smelling salts, and get rid of the curse with the methanol flannel. And you can cure both of them with amulets you get from killing the mummies, because what's an Egyptian-themed horror game without mummies? The mummies deal more damage than the zombies, but you can weaken them by shooting or breaking off their body parts. As for aiming, it's sort of similar to Eternal Darkness where you can select which body part you want to shoot off. If you have a ranged weapon, you have to stand still in order for the crosshairs to have a perfect shot, otherwise your bullets will scatter. The only 2 exceptions I found were the shotgun and flamethrower. The other weapons you get are the rifle, pistol, crossbow with both normal and explosive shots, and a grenade launcher. There are also thugs in the museum trying to search for the Eye of Isis as well, and these guys aren't really that threatening. Most of the time I just beat them to death with a truncheon. Getting back to the story, you go to where the Eye of Isis was going to be showcased to the general public. That's when Abdul tells Darian about the curse now is not only affecting his family, but Victoria's as well. You see, a few years back, both Darian and Victoria's families were cursed after taking the Eye of Isis from his holding place. Over time, both families went insane to the point of death, as in slowly being possessed to the point it'll kill that person. And the curse kept going back and forth to each family member, and guess who's the next person in line to go crazy? So the only way to get rid of the curse is to return the statue back. By the way, you're gonna spend a long time in the museum, which isn't a bad idea. Like for example, you can enter different exhibits and watch things come to life other than mummies, kinda like that Haunted Museum game, but without you going on a roller coaster and fighting against a sphinx that fires flying scorpions. But that idea only happens once, as we see a cutscene where a skeleton of a whale comes to life. So we're given the key to, I guess, the hunting room, where we have our first boss fight against 2 stuffed bears. You can easily beat them by circle strafing them. After that, we find Victoria. She looked like she didn't have a weapon, so I gave her my rifle. Both characters play out the same. Who you are is mostly based on story progression. Darian gets knocked out by the curse, now you play as Victoria. Victoria gets kidnapped, now you play as Darian. It just depends on whoever has which weapon.
Oh no. Darian! Wake up! Darian! Darian!
Oh yeah, this game is full of weird bugs. What was supposed to happen is that you find Darian lying down, unconscious. But it looks like he's portraying Jack Nicholson from The Shining. So we need to find ingredients to make a medicine for Darian. So we give Darian the medicine, as our next goal is to find the thief, known as LeChat, and take back the Eye of Isis from him. We find LeChat as he plans to give it to the thugs, as a skeleton of a whale comes alive and crushes one of them. Also, Victoria gets kidnapped. Now we play as Darian as we go to where Victoria was last seen and take the Eye of Isis. We follow the thugs as we go to our next level, the sewers. And this somehow has the hardest enemy of the game. Rats. I'm not joking. The rats are apparently the hardest enemies to kill, because you can't kill them. Okay, that's it. I know how to make a mean weed rat stew. You know, how does Abdul get here faster than me? Dude must be badass. So after fighting off mummies and zombies in the sewers, we get to the train station where we encounter the next boss. Oh wait, I have some unfinished business. Our next boss is the broken statue that comes together to form a giant warrior. Now, if it isn't obvious, you shoot the parts that are glowing, and after a few shots, it'll move to another part of the body. Now this boss isn't hard, but I can't seem to get away from his slash attack. Also, I think at one point, the boss manages to hit himself. You see? Once we dealt with him, we go to our next level on the boat, where we come across the antagonist of the game.
Take the greatest of care with these crates, or you'll answer to me.
The penguin? Actually, his name is Bupo, and he wants the statue so he can add it to his collection. Whatever floats your boat. So after burning a few guards to death, I find Victoria. As the chat appears, knocks me out and takes the statue. But in the process, the stone that's connected to the statue falls off, as the stone in the game serves as a function letting you know when danger's nearby. Now this is supposed to be similar to the radio from Silent Hill. After playing this game, I enjoyed the static that the radio gives off, instead of this. Even when there are no monsters or curses, it still goes off.
You know, that is really getting annoying.
Oh yeah, forgot to mention, the curse catches up with the ship, as the curse possesses Darian and you're supposed to find him and cure him. So after a few zombie fights and giving people things to progress the game, we find Darian in the food storage, where the curse flees from his body and goes to a few dead animals. Now, judging by this shot, I was thinking that the curse was going to reassemble different animal parts and conjoin them all together to resemble some sort of thing-like monster. But what we got is a little disappointing. The boss fight also sucks. Not only you're in a small area where the camera is way too close to your character, but as far as my knowledge, it's impossible to avoid its ground attack. But that's just the icing on the cake. Because what really sucks about this is that in order to fully kill it, you have to impale it on a crane. And trust me, controlling this thing, it's much harder than it looks. And if you screw it up, he gets all of his health back, and you gotta fight him all over again. After that mess, we give Darian the medicine as we head to our final level, the Pyramid of Osiris. So everyone enters the pyramid, only to get separated. Now the pyramid is the only level to have any puzzles in it, where you have to read the notes and look at the drawings that Darian's father left to figure out what to do. In addition, we're introduced to two new enemies. One are these stone soldier guys that block bullets, arrows, and sometimes your bludgeon attacks. They aren't too hard, but it's best to take them out with a ranged weapon, but they do take a lot of bullets. And the second new enemies are the scarabs, and I've seen what they do to people in the Mummy movies, so I'm staying as far away from them. So after a few puzzles, we encounter our next boss, which is a Scorpion Queen. She's not as bad as the last boss, but there's no indication that she's getting hurt from your attacks. She does scream like she's in pain, but her animation stays the same. But then I found out you're supposed to attack her where she strikes with her tail, then she gets dizzy as you're supposed to keep shooting the tail. Now why make it sound like I'm hitting someone where I'm clearly not doing any damage at all? Now there's a annoying glitch that happens that when you pause during a scream and then unpause, it gets louder. Well, I end up killing her, only to be stabbed by her. So after solving a few more puzzles, we fight the Scorpion Queen. Again, and I kill her. Again. So I guess the first time I did, she was mostly dead. We find Darian being taken over by the curse, again. You know, I'm starting to wonder who the real damsel in distress is. Yeah, earlier in the game Victoria gets kidnapped, but throughout the rest of the game, I think she saves Darian more than he saves her. We're shown despite that one screw-up, she managed to handle herself. After solving another puzzle, we make the medicine to cure Darian, as Abdul gives Victoria the statue. only to lose it and have Lachat take it. Yeah, I take back what I said about Victoria. So after we follow Lachat, which I'm now starting to realize sounds dirty, we encounter Bupo.
So, you first, is it? Very well.
Oh, Tarion.
Well, I guess Bupo's dead, so much for that. As we find out who Lachat really is. Because now apparently this is Scooby-Doo. Who the hell is this chick? Okay, so it turns out that Lachat is Victoria's twin sister. Can't you tell the similarities? As they were separated at birth so that one of them could be trained in returning the Eye of Isis back to the pyramid. Why couldn't someone else do it? My guess is that since Daryl and Victoria's families took it, someone of that bloodline has to return it. Oh, and apparently Abdul knew about this. So now we're near the source of the curse, where we can end this nightmare once and for all. So Victoria is given the statue, or have the one who's more sensible to the curse take it and do the job. Even Victoria realizes this is a bad idea.
Darian, no. The curse, its effect upon you.
I must. My family has much to atone for.
Well, both of your families have much to atone for, but at the end of the day, we gotta let the men finish the job. Even though it's been Victoria who's been constantly saving your ass. So we see the dead body of Bupo slide itself to the next room. I don't know. As we're ready to put the statue back in its place.
The jewel! It should be with the statue.
God damn it, Victoria! Whatever, we have to have conflict one way or another. So after fighting the two statues, the curse takes over the dead body of Bupo, turning it into... a lizard zombie tentacle hentai monster who shoots ancient Egyptian laser beams. He's not hard, but like the statues, he does take a lot of bullets. Luckily by this point, I had about 100 shotgun shells, 200 pistol ammo, and 50 crossbow bolts. So we killed zombie Bupo as we place the statue back with the gem as the curse is lifted. And I guess Darian and Victoria get together, on one with Victoria wanting to spend time with her twin. So that was Curse, the Eye of Isis. I will admire it for trying to do something different, but would I play this again? Probably not. There were some good atmospheric moments, but besides the pyramid, I got bored of everything else pretty quickly, and I don't think the museum would be as iconic as the Spencer Mansion or the Himuro Mansion. But if you're into survival horror, I guess this is worth checking out. Just don't expect it to be great as you thought it might be, or to have anything different than what other survival horror games had other than just a time period and a theme. But if you do have the same thoughts that I have about this, I leave this game abandoned in the tombs. I'm Yamase, and I'll see you next time.